All right, to discuss this further, let's now speak to Legal Analyst Melusi Xulu. Mr. Xulu, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I want us to begin right there where the department's spokesperson left off, and that is, of course, the merits of this matter. We know, of course, the Information Regulator insists that the department's intention to release these matric results in newspapers doesn't comply with the Protection of Personal Information Act. But the department says because there is this long-standing 2022 High Court order to release the results in newspapers, they will be proceeding. Just unpack the merits of this case then.
Good afternoon to you and Nati and to the viewers at home. Look, I think what is important is to ask a question. The examination number, is it not an information pertaining to the education of a matriculant? Number two, is it not a private information according to the Act? If you read the Act on the definitions in Section 1, it says that personal information, it relates to information with regards to a natural person. It does include the education of a person, history of employment, financial and so forth, but I'm sticking to education right now. And then it does say that, you know, if that information is given out, there's a violation of the right to privacy. So the importance of the POPIA Act, I believe it's a 2013 Act, if I'm not mistaken. But the importance of it is that it protects private rights in regards to privacy, so that it can support Section 14 of the Constitution. So if we are saying the examination number is just any identifying number of a matriculant, then I do agree with the Information Regulator that that information should be kept in private. And the solution is this. The student will go to the school, they will get their results because it's their private information. Number two, an SMS can be sent to the student, and then the rights to privacy are protected. So the importance is the right to privacy not being violated by showing the results of the newspapers. If this is answered in the affirmative, then it shouldn't be, shown in public.
Should then, I mean, I want to discuss what also transpired in court today, but I'm also hanging on what the department is saying in as far as that High Court order of 2022. You will recall, of course, I think AfriForum was involved here. Yes. Should that matter not then be settled first before we even come to this point, or how does that work?
Well, it's an urgent application. Yeah. And one of the things that needs to be answered is this clear right going to be violated? And if there's no other way to deal with it, then the interdict should succeed. So I think the importance of all this is if it's an urgent interdict, and this is a clear right that will be violated if these results are shown, then I think that will be more important. But more importantly, I always say this when we're dealing with constitutional matters. Section 2 of the Constitution says, any right that violates a constitutional right is invalid. So at the end of the day, the Constitution, if it's applied in this case, if it's seen as an important right, in particular to the right to privacy, I think the Information Regulator should succeed.
I mean, just going into that point that you make in terms of the urgency, the case is being heard days before the results of the class of 2024 are released next week. Now, the court has dealt with the urgency of the matter today. What are we likely then to see? It is adjourned for tomorrow, but what are we likely to see in the days coming, given the urgency?
Look, what we are likely to see is if the right to privacy is confirmed as a right that will be violated, I believe that the Information Regulator will succeed. And look, at the end of the day, I understand what the Department of Education is saying. They are saying, in any case, since 2022, the names of the matriculants are not shown, but it's an examination number. But if you go to the Section 1 that I was talking about on definition, any identifying number is a personal that must be protected. So my view is, I believe even if the Information Regulator does not succeed now, as time goes by, I believe that these rights will be protected and we'll be in a situation where the results are not shown in the newspapers, but they will be given to a person privately. There's only one thing that I find interesting here, and that is the fact that should the results not be shown in papers, I'm sure there's a lot of businesses that will not be happy about that decision.